Okay, good morning, good afternoon and good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this fifth event in the Global Series brought to you by the Global Technology and Business Services Council. My name is Kerry Hallard and I am delighted to serve as the chair of the GT&BSC, as well as the chief exec of the Global Sourcing Association, the industry association representing the United Kingdom. So, by way of brief introduction, the Global Technology and Business Services Council is a very unique body. It's an alliance of 12 of the leading industry associations around the world. And we came together and were launched in 2020 to applaud the industry's absolutely phenomenal response to the pandemic, but also to create a united voice and a vision for the future of the global technology and business services industry. So we've tackled a number of major global subjects to date. This is our fifth and probably the biggest subject we've got to tackle, and that is the subject of obviously global talent. Every member and every region of the council is being impacted by this issue, and in very different ways. So we believe there's a real opportunity for us to collaborate and deliver a joined up response to the global talent crisis. So we have curated an absolutely fantastic lineup of speakers, and I would like to thank each and every member of the council for assisting us pull that lineup together and for their time in committing to this event themselves as well. And of course, I'd like to thank you too for joining. So my ask of you is that we make this as interactive as possible. Time is incredibly tight, so we're keeping to a very, very tight schedule, but please do put comments or questions in the chat box. And please do also keep an eye on the chat because we will be publishing some links there for really important reports from the different speakers and from the different regions. Right, so moving very quickly on. The headlines are, of course, there is a talent crisis all around the world. In some regions, like the UK, there are unfilled roles, fast rising attrition, spiraling salaries, and that's resulting in really significantly increasing inflation. In other regions, there is increasing unemployment, which is leading to disadvantaged youth and increasing poverty. So as an industry focused on technology and business services, I believe we are ideally placed to lead in addressing the talent crisis across many professions, not just our own. So we have all endured a global pandemic. Let's be honest, it was global partnerships that saved many an enterprise buyer from catastrophe when they had to rapidly mobilize their teams to working from home. We know the world is different now. The cloud enables delivery from anywhere at any time. Working from home has changed the working landscape forever. People want to work the way they want to work and what they want to work, and so are working for themselves now in ever increasing numbers. Companies, they need to mitigate their risk by broadening their global delivery footprints, not by retrenching. They need to maximize their existing people whilst opening up new routes to talent and embracing new ways of thinking. We can be smart about doing this, and in doing so, positively impact economies around the world. So this event is the starting point to discuss the potential solutions to the crisis, which obviously includes attracting talent, upskilling existing talent, better balancing global supply and demand, accessing flexible resourcing to include gig workers and the open talent economy, the use of impact sourcing, which will address social values at the same time as resource challenges, and then the use of automation and other technologies, and a focus on skills convergence programs. But I personally, and I believe my colleagues, would like to go further. We would like to investigate how we collaborate to produce a rapidly increasing global population of digital ready skilled workers, giving bright futures to families all around the world. Let's see what we can do. So So that's the setting, that's the scene, that's what we're going to be discussing across this event today. First of all, I thought we'd open with a little bit of a spotlight on the talent crisis that we're facing in the UK. So yeah, we are absolutely at crisis point. Currently, there are 1.2 million job vacancies in the UK. And the average unemployment rate has fallen to 4.5%, which means the UK is actually facing its tightest labour market in decades. Obviously, this has been compounded, started by Brexit, compounded by the pandemic. In 2020, we lost more than 200,000 EU citizens that were working in the UK. On top of that, thousands of workers that were placed on furlough have decided to switch sectors and have never returned. And I'd say that the customer service industry is probably one of the industries most impacted in that way. So we're facing a real crisis in customer service there. 77% of organisations in the UK are reporting talent shortages, which is the highest in over a decade. At the same time, a record 50% of all employers in the UK are planning to increase their headcount this year. So there is a boom in hiring, and that is making it so much more competitive for companies to attract employees to come and work for them. Attrition is increasing, and they are combating this by increasing wages, which is obviously having that knock-on effect in inflation. So currently we have about 100,000 unfilled tech vacancies, and that is estimated to be costing the UK economy 6.3 billion in lost GDP every year. So the shortage of developers is the third most impacted profession in the UK at the moment, behind HGV drivers and nurses. And there is currently a shortfall of some 10,000 cybersecurity professionals. And surprisingly, 2/3 of digital leaders in the UK are saying that they cannot keep pace with change because of this dearth of talent. Bizarrely, despite all of this, we're being further compounded by the fact that the number of students taking technology-related subjects has fallen by 40%. So 40% less students are studying IT subjects at GCSE level in the UK at the moment. And on top of that, on top of there being a lack of digital skills being taught in schools, 44% of employers feel that young people are leaving school and they're not really work ready. So we have a significant crisis on our hands here in the UK. The government is promising help. So the action that we're taking is the government has said it's going to introduce a post-COVID skills overhaul and offer access to flexible loans, and that's all part of its lifetime skills guarantee to everybody. So not just those of school and college training age, but people later in life as well are going to have access to funding, but it's not going to be free education. The government's offered a further, or promised a further £3 billion will be invested to fuel the skills revolution. And that's looking at things like boot camps, apprenticeships, traineeships, and expanding free education for young people. So the government has promised that by 2030, the number of people completing high quality skills training will have increased in every region across the UK. So we've got this really important levelling up agenda, which is looking at every region of the UK. And that's going to mean that there are going to be 200,000 more people completing high quality skills training every single year. State investment obviously is playing a role, but it's been made very, very clear that businesses have to forge their own plans to overcome the skills gap. So they've been advised that they need to maximise and take advantage of the apprenticeship levy. So there's a charge on UK employers that has been introduced to help fund more high quality apprenticeship programmes. And in addition to taking advantage of the apprenticeship levy, they also have to focus on skills development for their existing employees and not only rely on attracting new hires. So to summarise, I think we face the perfect storm. Businesses are under pressure to cater to an increasingly digitised economy, but they lack the engineering talent to implement the innovative solutions, and so do their service providers. So this shrinking talent pool puts businesses looking to drive transformation and also the UK's position as a leading global tech innovator at risk. So, Debbie, I am concerned that if we do not address the talent crisis differently, more proactively, our industry, the outsourcing industry, the global technology and business services industry could fall into disrepute. So in the UK, it's taken us about 20 years to build this really positive platform that we're on now, and we cannot afford to lose it and be seen as an industry that is over-promising and under-delivering. So that's my concern, that's my situation, that's where we are in the UK. I'd be really keen to understand your perspective as to what you're seeing in the US.
Yeah, well, thank you, Kerry, and thanks to all of you who are joining us today. I absolutely agree with everything you've said. We are seeing so much of the same in the US. The global talent crisis is real. Therefore, the topics we're discussing today couldn't come at a better time. I think it's so important we hear from these speakers, because I will tell you, in the US and across the globe, it is and has always been the people and their organizations who identify the problem, they develop the solution, and they implement it. So it's really the private sector that gets out there and gets the job done. We see so much of that in the US, and that's really, I think, what's going to get us through all of this. I do believe our industry is strong and will continue to be because of the people and the organizations that they serve. At IAOP's recent OWS 22 virtual series, we heard from our research partner, Everest Group, and of course, we're going to hear much more in detail in the next session, that the talent war is a new reality and it isn't going away anytime soon. In the US, it's particularly true, where there are currently more than 11 million job openings, according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics. The main point, millions more jobs exist than people actively looking for work, similar to what you just said. Here's another concerning statistic shared by IBM at that same event. The incoming supply of talent is shrinking for higher skilled tech jobs. By 2030, computing roles in the US are expected to increase by more than 35%, but only 18% of these positions will be filled by US college graduates. So what can we do about this new reality? Also during that series, our expert speakers shared some of the tactics being used to tackle these issues head on. And so I'd like to share the 10 best practices that they shared with our audience. Number one, use impact sourcing. This is not just a strategy for offshore locations, and it works. We have award-winning examples in the US from companies who have been recognized with IAOP's Global Impact Sourcing Award. It truly makes a difference, and today you will hear from two of the winners of that award, Bepesa and WebHelp, on how they are scaling impact sourcing globally to address both the talent crisis as well as the unemployment crisis. And there are so many other stories. Number two, automate to free talent. As we heard from Accenture, intelligent automation, or using cognitive technologies like artificial intelligence and machine learning to arrive at good decisions or recommended actions, can free employees to do more high value human work. Number three, build a skills culture. Take a strategic approach and make the investments to upskill, reskill, and provide continuous learning and training opportunities throughout the careers of individuals like IBM is doing. Number four, mentor your future workforce. Get involved with the Global Mentorship Initiative, where you can tap into the talents of first-generation college graduates as GMI connects students and professionals around the world to create an ecosystem of opportunity. Become a mentor and help share the talent for the industry while giving back to your community. Don't forget this one, very important, hire refugees. The Tent Partnership for Refugees has already had amazing success improving the lives and livelihoods of 30 million refugees forcibly displaced from their home countries. As the Ukrainian refugee crisis escalates, this initiative involving more than 200 companies will play a key role. So stay tuned on how you can get involved and let me know if you'd like to learn more. Promote diversity, equity, and inclusion to create more inclusive and welcoming workplaces. IAOP's new Center for Social Impact will be very focused on this, and I encourage you to get involved and learn more. There's so much opportunity. Number 7, empower women to stay in the workplace. IAOP and HCL recently awarded the Women in Outsourcing Red Ladder Awards to women who are on the forefront of innovation, especially during the pandemic, while empowering other women in the industry to do the same. Create great workplaces so employees don't want to leave. Enhance the employee work experience with flexible work models, health and well-being programs, and a culture that makes employees feel valued, as we learned from our experts at Colliers, and you'll hear more from Elias later in the program. Number 9, and I love this one too, Kelly Services, a global leader in workforce management, created the Kelly 33 Second Chance Hiring Program, which connects talented job seekers who have a non-violent, non-relevant criminal background with employers in need of these skills. The program, which is built on a successful proof of concept with Toyota, increases talent pools and reduces turnover rates. And last but certainly not least, as Kerry said, it's all about collaboration. This is a global issue. No one industry, geography, or enterprise can solve it alone. We come together, like-minded individuals, to find solutions, and working together, we can do so much. At the GT&BSC, you've come to the right place. So stay tuned. Thanks so much. Back to you.
That's great, Debbie. Obviously, we are in the same world of pain, but absolutely singing from the same hymn sheet. So